All right, and we are live. It is Friday night Cantina cocktail hour. Hello, hello. Good evening to everybody. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Super stoked. We're doing another one. We're really excited because this evening I got OneSixthScaleMan hanging out with me this evening. Lael from OneSixthScaleMan on YouTube,
Yeah,
channel that I really admire and been following for a little bit now. And Lael, welcome to Cantina Cocktail Hour.
I'm so glad to be here. Finally, it's we all try to make it, in the world. So to be in the presence of greatness, I'm happy.
Oh, it's too kind. Well, no, we're really glad that you're here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
So
you. I
happy you're able
appreciate
to
it.
make it this evening. And
Hmm.
yeah, so super cool. I Yeah, I've been looking forward to this. I skipped last week. I just needed, every now and then
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of need a
yeah,
little bit of a break,
yeah. That's
rejuvenate and a little bit, if that makes sense.
yeah, that's understandable.
But yeah, so we're back, and we got a full schedule from here all the way through early April. So really excited for all the guests that are going to be coming on in the near future. So Leo, this is your first time here on Cocktail Hour.
Hmm.
One of the very first things we like to do, since it is Cocktail Hour, if you happen to be drinking anything or enjoying any type of a beverage, just to kind of mention what you've got.
So
Classic.
I have the classic bottled water right now. That's me for right now, anyway. The classic bottled water to
Nice.
keep the throat open and just to be all right. So yeah, that's me.
Totally. Very cool. So I am drinking, this is locally canned. This is a Villager Springs canned Mai Tai.
Okay. Wow. I like the
Yeah.
presentation on the can.
Yeah, they're cool. So they have all kinds. They make Moscow mules, they have
Yeah.
margaritas, they have daiquiris, they have pina coladas, and they're all canned. And it's funny because you would think that a canned cocktail beverage just wouldn't taste the same as, getting it mixed in a bar, but they actually taste pretty close. It's surprising how close
Hmm.
they taste to
Hmm.
actual, yeah, bar mixed beverages. And so I'm lazy tonight. Usually I mix my own cocktails. Tonight I'm being lazy. I just bought some at the
Yeah.
store, and that's what I got tonight.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So we have Pico B1 with us. Hey, welcome, friend. Thanks for
How
coming
you
on. Hey,
doing?
Paul.
How you doing,
Paul, good to
Paul?
see you as well. Yeah, so I'm really happy that Paul is here as well. Tunes in pretty much every week. We got
Yeah.
Bettery Bob. So Bettery Bob, I saw
Better
your
Ray.
comment on Instagram earlier
Yeah.
today. Um, yeah, and it looks like my friends Tom from Cantina Chatter podcast
Yeah.
is in here. We've
Okay.
got Dave. Dave's a contributor on Cantina Chatter podcast as well.
Okay.
We've got Tim from Collect Jurassic. So that's another podcast that I do, is the Collect Jurassic World podcast. It's on hiatus right now.
Yeah.
We got Creative Mind in here.
Hmm.
We got my friend Steve. We've got Tyler. Tyler, welcome. Good to see you. It's been a while. So yeah, I'm super stoked to date. Well, good. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Good to
Yeah.
have you
Yeah.
here.
Let's go.
So I'm gonna pop open this drink right here.
Okay. Okay.
And cheers.
Cheers. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Also got a something warming my lap right here. It's a little pet.
Yeah.
Um,
Little
yeah,
cat,
my
little
my
kitten.
usual. Here she is, right here.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Say
Come
hello.
on, man.
You're on
Adorable.
camera. You're on cocktail hour.
Adorable.
No, don't look at me. Look over there. Look over there.
Oh. So peaceful.
Yeah,
Like I would have never known. You know what I mean? I would have never known. Wow. Just like calm, right?
she's super calm.
I would have never known she was there. I would have
Yeah,
never
no,
known she was there.
she's really chill. She's she's getting a little bit older, so she
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
hangs out,
Yeah.
sleeps. Go
Yeah.
back to sleep. Sorry to just have disturbed you. You can go back to sleep. You're good.
Hmm.
Cool. So it looks like some of our friends are drinking along with us. Better Ray Bob says he's got a Jack and Coke that he's
Yeah.
hanging out with. Justin, first live stream of yours. Well, welcome, Justin. We're happy that you are here.
Yeah.
Um, Adam, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too. Thanks for coming on this evening.
Hmm.
And all right, Creative Mind. So yeah, get you something to eat. Yeah, it's I don't know
Yeah.
where you're located, but it could be late, could be early,
Hmm.
could be anything, could be anything.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got our friend Mike, who was on Cocktail Hour about a
Hmm.
month ago or so,
Yeah.
hanging out with us. So hey, Mike, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to chill. All right, so cool. Good little group forming in here.
Hmm.
So cool. Lael, add anything new to the collection this week?
You know what? No, like what I've been doing, because again, I'm really big on photography when it comes to my figures and stuff like that. So what I've been doing is I have Boba, the Boba 2 pack. So what I've been doing is, I normally have like my normal take your position shows on Sunday where we, have a panel of individuals who we it's like a theme posing show. Like we pose based on the theme of that particular day, but we just have some fun, posing, creating like masterpieces and stuff like that, walking people through different aspects of the figure, how to pose it, making sure that we go from, what we call character poses to dynamic companion. So we just do certain things, with the figure. It's kind of fun show. But then I also have the Take Your Position companion show, whereas I just do just a pose session on the figure. So I don't do reviews. I just take them out of the box, show all the accessories, and then I pose the figure and I take pictures. Talk to people about the right angles to capture certain things and make it more, look more realistic. So just more of that when it comes to these figures. It's just a fun way to do it. So nothing new right now. I mean, I think the newest figure that I actually got in, I think the last figure that I got in was the classic suit Spider-Man. So that was the last figure that I got. Of course, all of us are waiting for Ahsoka. Don't know when that's going to actually be a release. They keep playing around with us with that. Of course, we got news that Django was pushed to May. So I don't know. It's been, I mean, but it was to be expected, I guess, after Chinese New Year that things were going to be a tad bit slow. But I thought it would have been slow during the time, not now.
Mm.
But yeah, just have to wait and see.
We'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully, we get all these things eventually. Oh, we'll get them eventually. It's how long is it going to be? Like you're saying, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's been a long time coming, and I know a lot of people are super excited for that figure, and there's a lot of
Hmm.
hype for it. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So Mike has a question here for you.
Yeah.
So he says that's a nice collection, and then follows that up with, where is this posing seminar? Because I'm way interested. So do you want to talk a little bit about your channel?
Yeah, so it's on a 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel. If you haven't already, subscribe, and it's great content over there. Sundays is when we actually have. Now today we had we call Figure Flex Friday. So Figure Flex Friday is when it's basically interactive with the fans and with people out in the chat. So what we do is we have the show, but people will hashtag Figure Flex Friday and they'll tag me in it. I'll pull their pictures up, on Instagram, or I'll take the pictures from Facebook and just kind of get them more involved, along with the simple fact that we flex our collection, just kind of show people what we have in our collections, whether or not we've received something new. We'll talk about new releases, new reveals, but it's more so an interactive show with the fans, getting them more so involved. So that's, a fun show that we normally do on Friday nights around 7. But on Sundays, we at 4:30 Eastern time, we have Take Your Position. So that show is, it's taken off. It's been pretty good. It's been fun. With
Yeah,
that
good.
show, what we do is, again, we take figures from our collection. It might be themed. I think last week, what did we do last week? Last week was one-off figures. Actually, no, it was team up. So what we did was we took figures from different IPs and created a team, or what we thought would be aesthetically, pleasing, what we thought would look more so we can imagine. So it's like I didn't want to take a figure from my Marvel collection or DC collection and put it with a Star Wars figure because it wouldn't have made sense. So what I did was I took Maria Hill from Marvel and paired her up with both Alita and Hellboy. So I like to keep my Star Wars collection in their own little realm because, like I said, they're separate and they're special to me. It's my favorite IP.
Yeah.
But yeah, but take your position. It's on Sundays at 4:30, where we basically have a pose clinic. We show you how to pull off dynamic poses, what stands to use, how to use the crotch grabber, how to use the waist grabber, ways that you can use it without you can use the crotch grabber without really putting it around the waist. You can actually wrap it around the leg. You use the dynamic
Yes.
stand for a particular reason. So there's ways that you can do certain things without damaging or taking away from the integrity of the figure. So yeah, tune in for that on yes, every Sunday at 4:30. This Sunday, Robert Meyer Burnett's going to be on there. Will Foxification is going to be on there. It's going to be a fun
Nice.
show. It's going to be stacked, but it's going to be fun. And Robert Meyer, he's going to be doing the commentary for it. So it's going to be fun.
Awesome.
It's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that and
Yeah,
tuning in for sure.
yeah,
It's a good stuff. You mentioned an interesting thing, and this has been on my mind lately, the crotch grabber. When we say that, I'm
yeah.
sure most people hear that aren't really familiar with what this term means, and they might think something different. So that's what
This
it is right there.
That's
Yeah.
this is what it is. It's the crotch grabber. So this thing right here that you see that you put inside your base, and this is what goes between the crotch of your figure to keep it or to hold it stable. But there's a way that you can use this because a lot of people sometimes they're like it's unstable or we can't use it a certain way. So we show you how to use these pieces where it's not so unsightly, and it can also add element to even if you want to do museum poses, we kind of show you how you do it. But then we have the waist grabber, which this is basically the waist grabber. This is more like a dynamic stand. And of course, you see the waist grabber here. Sometimes you get these particular stands that don't have the foam pieces in the inside of the actual grabber itself. And, of course, you don't want to damage your figure, so you want to be careful with it. Sometimes I'll, kind of, make sure that I'm reinforcing the protection around the figure just to kind of make sure it's stable. But yeah, that's just basically the way it goes for me. But yeah, it's just like I said. If you watch the show, we'll show you how to do it. You'll have some fun, and at the same time, you won't damage your figure. But if you want to have presence in your DTOF, we show you how to do it.
Awesome. And that's so important. I'm one of those people. I only have 3D toffs. I know you have a ton
Mm-hmm.
of them. I got 3 of them because of the limitations of the room that my
Yeah,
collection is in. And
yeah,
that's not to mention I have collect things beyond Hot Toys. I have
yeah,
the Hasbro stuff. I have some Marvel Legends. I got some Ghostbusters. I got some vintage
yeah,
stuff. I got some Batman. I've got a little bit of everything. Jurassic Park. So I kind of have to uh, be very selective, or at least, or at least rotate things out from time to
yeah,
time.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, that really makes the difference in a DTOF. You could either load them up with figures, like I oftentimes tend to do, or
mm-hmm.
you can be a little more methodical about it and just sort of display them
Yeah,
meaningfully. And I think
yeah,
what you do through the show, I think, is a really good way to get some tips on doing that.
yeah, yeah.
I do wish that crotch grabbers were like on a swivel so they could spin, and
Yeah, yeah. I
that would
wish
be nice.
the thing is it's like we talk about like innovation, and one of the key things that I've always wanted is to have a figure if they can actually give us figures that were stable enough to have like magnetic pieces at the bottom. I would love something like that. Whereas you can just put it on a stand and, at the bottom of the feet, maybe there's a magnet for it to pose. But then you have to think about the joints, whether the joints, on the legs will wear over time, if the figure will slouch. But I just think that, there's a different way to do it. Like we've seen these, like we've actually seen this since the beginning. Like we need something different, like a different way to really display your figures. Like sometimes I've even gone the route of not even using a stand or these, cross grabbers when I'm posing my figures, or if I have them in a DTOF. If I know it's a figure that is stable enough, then I'll do it. But I'm very, very selective and protective about my Star Wars figures. Like I really
Yeah.
am. So if it requires a cross grabber, for photography, I may actually use it a totally different way. I may not use the cross grabber or the waist grabber. I don't do that. I'll just pose the figure a certain way. But when I have them in the DTOF, or if the module cases, whatever, I got to be very particular about it because, like I said, they're near and dear, especially
Gin.
Jen Urso. Jen, Yeah, Jen, she's my number one. She's going to be my number one. I mean, really, when I say number one, out of any figure that I actually have in my collection, that would be the one that I would never give away. If the house is burning down, I'll come down and get her, and I'm out.
Nice. For
Literally.
me, it would have to be the New Hope Leia because that was the very first one
Yeah.
I got, 2016. That's the one that got
Yeah.
me into all this. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, super cool, super cool.
Yeah.
So let's see who else is hanging out with us now. So Pico B1 says that you have a beautiful collection,
Oh, thank you so much.
and
Thank you very
yeah,
much.
that
Thank you
is
very much.
that is totally true. Paul says hit the like button. Yes, please do hit the like button.
Yes.
Subscribe to
Yes.
1/6 Scale Man as well. Definitely hit him up. We'll have links in the description.
Hmm.
Mary Sullivan is hanging out. Hey Mary, how's it going?
Hello,
Good to
Mary. How you
see you here.
doing?
Yeah, love hanging out with Mary. So glad that she's here with us.
Hmm. Hmm.
Out of the basement, Justin is here with us. I was on their
Yeah.
show pretty recently.
Yeah.
So good to see you, Justin. Thanks for coming on in.
Hmm.
We have Jason. Jason, welcome.
Hey, how you doing,
Jason, I need to
Jason?
send you a message. I need to get something out to you. So I'll be in touch very soon here. And let's see, Justin, what about posable capes for cape wearing figures? That's an interesting one because sometimes we do kind of get a little bit of posability in the capes, but they're not always the best
Yeah.
capes when we do.
Yeah. Yeah. I have. So I have. Let me see here. I have three posable capes, custom made capes that I actually got from Unreal Customs. For Batman, Wonder Woman. Actually, I have two. Let me see, one for Batman, one for Wonder Woman, and one for my Justice League Superman. And what I do is, because the thing is, it's hard to you. Here's the thing, and I like to tell stories in my detour. So when I have the figures in, every display has to tell some sort of a story, or related to a story or a scene. So when I'm posing, especially if it has posable capes, you might see them flared out a certain way. Like for instance, I have all three of my Justice League figures inside of an actual detour posed up with the actual posable capes. But the cape just gives it so much element. And if you and there's a way, even with the crotch grabber, that you can disguise that crotch grabber behind the actual cape, where people wouldn't even know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain ways to actually do it. Good question, great question when it comes to that. It's with the crotch grabber anyway, especially with the waist grabber, make sure that it's not. I mean, especially with the cape, have it flaring behind it. It gives it a bit more presence in the detour. If you have a posable wired cape, that's always a bonus, because you get more from that. And sometimes even the cape itself, whether you know it or not, can become a stand. Like literally, it can help your figure when it comes to leverage on posing that figure, having it stand in your detour for your display case. It can help in so many different ways. It depends on how long the cape is, but sometimes it definitely helps you out.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I will need to hit you up about this because I've never replaced the cape on my Batman Returns Batman, and it's just a terrible cape.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah, yeah.
So I need to get something for that one because I
Yeah,
don't even have it on
Unreal.
display because of that cape.
Look up Unreal Customs. If you look them up, they make really good custom capes. You can order from them. I think the turnaround sometimes is about a month or so because, like I said, they literally customize those capes. But it's yeah, decent to have.
Right on. Well, I got it noted right here. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So Justin says, what about posable capes for 3 3/4? This is actually from 3 3/4 inch. So Vader looks so good, but the capes are unruly. And yes, so
Yeah. Yeah.
this is something that comes up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And there are customizers on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
that tackle 1/12 scale 6 inch
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
1/18 scale 3 3/4, and they do focus on these and make better stuff than what Hasbro tends to do for soft goods. But yeah, that can be an issue as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's that's the thing, with Vader, because we're so used to seeing the cape, not really flaring out. Even like in the films when we see it, we see them, it just flows, the fluidity of the cape itself and how it flows and how it lays on the figure. You would think that now, especially how far we've evolved, that some of these, companies, even Hot Toys, would, especially for Vader, give us a wired cape. Like you're starting to give us these wired capes. I mean, they
Yeah,
just release, the patents and or just reveal the patents in Batman, the Batman figure, which does look like it will have a wired cape. And I'm like, you know what? Just if you give us a Vader with it. But there are some companies out there that do make custom capes for Vader that you can
hmm
have. So I think something like that, is decent as well. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's always a crazy thing when it comes to Vader. It's
it is.
it's the thing is, it's like those capes sometimes they get in the way. You know what I mean? And it doesn't lend towards like the presence of the figure. I mean, look, he has presence alone. Like Vader doesn't even have to walk. You can put him definitely in a dynamic or just like a standard character pose, and it would still look great. You know what I mean? So,
Totally. Yeah,
they need to kind of evolve with capes though. Give us some evolution when it comes to that cape, and I'm pretty sure we'll be happy.
for sure. So one of the customizers I do follow on Instagram is Backa Customs, and he
Yeah.
does have a 3 3/4 inch Vader cape. I'll hold it up. Not sure how well it'll come
Nice.
through.
Nice.
Um, but that is
Nice. Love
something to
it.
look into, Justin. If you need a cape for your 3 3/4 inch Vader, he does some
Yeah.
really. The one that he did that looked really nice was his Emperor, 3 3/4 Emperor right there.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
nice. And it drapes well.
it does totally, totally. All right. Um, so yeah, I think last time we talked, I was on your show, the
Yeah.
Scoundrel Show,
Hmm.
and we were talking about Book of Boba Fett. I think it hadn't finished yet, right? There were still a couple
Yeah.
episodes left at that point,
Yeah.
and so yeah, how do you feel that it ended?
Um, so what I'm doing right now is crazy because I'm going back as we speak and I'm watching, the show for, what I get from it as far as I'm watching each episode. I'm watching it as a complete movie. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Just watch it the whole way through and see if there are certain points that were completely cohesive that I might have missed. Um, I definitely myself love it. I love what we got as far as the ending. I love the simple fact that, they did, you know, there's certain things that I didn't want them to do that I'm glad they didn't do. I know people were hoping that, we would get a cameo from Han Solo and Chewie. I'm glad they didn't because they had already given us way too many cameos in the first place. That, episode that we got of Mando and, how, we started following that story, which is obviously a setup for season 3 of The Mandalorian. Um, all in all, I think that, I'm hoping, and I think we are going to get a season 2 based on what they're saying. We did see like some pictures of Tamora Morrison getting in shape, even in more shape, because he was like talking about how people were still calling him, the fat Boba Fett, the fat Fett, and he was like, yeah, I'm just going to show you something. So he's getting in shape right now. We are seeing that. That he's putting himself through like rigorous exercises to kind of get in
Yeah.
shape. So we'll probably see a more slimmed down Boba, but at the same time, I hope we get more from Boba. I hope it's just more leaning towards just the theme of who Boba and what he has become now. I was talking to a couple of people about this that one of the biggest things that they were questioning and always upset about was like, okay, well, how come we got that aggressive Boba and they set us up for what we thought would be an aggressive Boba, the Boba that we always wanted to see in his own season, but yet they did that in Mando. But when we got to his season, he was just like muted and just watered down, and there was really no emphasis on his character, the structure of the character development. We didn't really see anything. Why didn't we get that? And why did we get like a different version? I'm like, well, if you watch that rescue, or no, it was called the tragedy episode of the Mandalorian. did we see anything different? Like literally, like, and I was, I had to really explain, like, of course, that episode that we got, yes, we saw a more aggressive Boba Fett, but he was aggressive for a reason because he you got to look at like how he perceived the Empire versus how he perceived it before. He was a working bounty hunter at that point, who was scout, scourging the galaxy, for payment for currency. He was earning his money at the time. He was bought by the Empire, at that time. But again, he was a gun for hire, putting his life on the line for, an empire that gave, little to care about who he was as a person. Now, where he discovers basically his purpose and his place, and he also seen a lot of bounty hunters that he was friends with die at the hands of the Empire. You know what I mean? So when you're looking at that from his ocular view, yes, he has a lot to be upset about when it comes to, the Empire. And when he saw the stormtroopers and the garrison, of course, his aggression was strong. But when you watch the following episodes of Boba, you didn't really see him do too much. You didn't see him do too much at all. You know what I mean? Yes, he was transportation from Mando to basically, really, pursue his side of, he had an agenda. He had, a job that he needed to, or something that he needed to fulfill at that point, which was making sure that, Grogu was delivered to the Jedi, making sure he was in safe hands. And they were working together at that point. The show was more so focused on Boba on the Mandalorian at that time. He didn't get involved with the rescue, so we didn't see him there. He didn't get involved with the episode that we seen, with him, Fennec Shan, and I keep forgetting Cardoon. When they actually got Mayfeld, and they rescued Mayfeld from the prison, and they actually had to get the information to know where the Moff Gideon's ship was, and how to find, So, but we didn't see him really get too much. He wasn't involved in that, you know what I mean? Sorry, my camera just has a tendency to go out. It'll fade back in, but we didn't see him. It does that, but we didn't see him get too involved at that point. So we didn't know where he was going, who he was at that, because there was no real emphasis aside from that episode of who Boba really was until we saw him fleshed out in his own show and knew what his purpose was, knew that he actually spent a certain amount of time with the Tusken Raiders, or the Warriors at that point, and that basically he had a sense of purpose based on him finding out who he was and having someone or a tribe that accepted him. So he was more at that time, and the realization, and mind you, we see his stint with them, which we didn't see him meet up with, Din Djarin until after his journey with the Tuskens. So his life had already changed. His personality had already changed. So he was more mild-mannered then, but we just didn't see that backstory. So I think we had to kind of follow it a certain way to understand where he was and who he was as a character. So I know everybody had the expectations of seeing Boba from a certain light, during his own show. But, just like, even Toya pointed out to me, she was like, well, he was always shrouded in mystery, even when we saw him the first time on Empire. We didn't know too much about this character. He was a man of very little words. So that's, and even Tamora Morrison himself felt as though Boba was saying way too much in the show. So I think that season 2, we are going to get more meat when it comes to Boba. We're going to see him, in a sense, having to now, because he's, what do we call it? What did they name him again? He's the, what does he call himself now? I keep forgetting the name that they actually give him now. That he's actually taken. But
the daimyo,
the daimyo. So basically, because he's now the daimyo, we're going to actually see how he interacts with the people, how they perceive him, and how he's going to supply a level of protection at that point. So there's a lot to go off of that we have to wait and see during season 2. But I will say that season 1 was good for what the daimyo. Yeah, thank you. So it was worth seeing, his journey, and also how everybody else played a part in his journey, during this season. But I just hope that the second season is more devoted towards him. So all in
Mm.
all, I enjoyed the season. Certain episodes that I did not enjoy, but I'll take it for what it is. You know what I mean? As long as we don't get any more of those, the mods. If
The
we can stay
mutts.
away from so much of those mods, man, then I'm happy. Those mods really annoyed me. And then this, yeah. But other than that, it was good.
Yeah. No, totally. They certainly sidelined Boba a little bit towards the end, and I love what we got in place of Boba, but it is Boba's show, so you
Yeah,
would expect that he'd be a little more front and center. Even
yeah,
even though these are obviously connections they're trying to make towards other content, and
yeah, yeah,
obviously important to keep seeing those aspects of that story. But then you ask yourself, well, would it have made any difference if they'd saved those bits until Mando has season 3?
hmm,
And I don't know. Maybe it could have worked. Maybe not. Maybe they just really, really wanted to tie it in and have Baby Yoda in there somehow. Um, but yeah, I similarly enjoyed it very much. There were certain episodes I thought were pretty stellar. I really liked the second episode. I liked the one where he goes to Jabba's palace with Fennec, and they kind of infiltrating, get the slave one back. I just thought that was fun. It was very Star Warsy, seeing them back there in the kitchens and all that.
yeah,
I know some people thought it was a little slapstick, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I hope season 2, should it happen, that it does focus more on Boba and
hmm, hmm,
his continued evolution,
yeah,
as an ex bounty hunter. Now that he's had all these experiences of, a near death experience, and
yeah,
then living with the Tuscans and learning, a whole new way.
hmm,
And then now in this new role that he has, leading a whole community.
yeah,
So it'll be interesting. I hope that I hope I'm here for it. More
yeah,
Star Wars
yeah.
content, more
The more
Boba.
Star Wars, exactly. Let's go.
Yeah. The more toys we'll get to.
Yeah, right. It's a
So
shame like that when we think about it and we watch these. Whenever there's a movie or a show, it's like we're happy not just because of the show. It's just because okay, now we know that we're going to get more, figures and there's going to be more merchandise. So we're definitely excited about that.
totally.
Hmm.
So Cujo says Cantina Squad, cheers.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. Um, Adam says that his salacious crumbs slipped off Jabba's dais and fell no more than 2 feet and shattered into about 15 pieces. That's not good.
Wow, that's not good at all.
That is not good.
That's
Sorry to
definitely not all.
hear that. Justin, look of him in ESB is so hard to achieve with the new carbon freezing chamber.
Hmm.
Um, I'm assuming that Justin's referring to the Vintage Collection playset, possibly.
Mm,
Because yeah, that
probably.
they've been making some really cool playsets in the Vintage Collection, but that was one that
Yeah.
was a little lackluster. Seems to
Yeah.
be the consensus. So Paul says, managed to get a set of good Clone Wars TVC figures from mostly mailers, not
Mm,
boxed Walmart exclusives. So yeah, that's kind of been the big thing, Lael, in the Vintage Collection world
yeah.
this week has been the Vintage Collection. These Walmart pre-orders that went back up, gosh, like in June or July last year,
Hmm.
for the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars micro
Hmm.
series.
Yeah.
They brought some figures into the fold, and so they were long awaited. I love that little micro series that they did back in 2003 to 2005. I just thought it was a lot of fun. I love the animation style that they did
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And so I certainly uh, got my own share of those, and I'll just show an image here
Okay.
of what I got. So this was my haul this week, and it's one of those things where
Yeah. I think I saw that. I saw it. Yeah.
yeah, so Walmart shipped all of these backed up pre-orders all at once, and
Hmm.
in terms of the bank account, it wasn't a whole lot of fun, but
Yeah.
I'm just glad
Yeah.
that they're here.
Yeah.
So I got 10 of these ARC troopers,
Hmm.
and I think they look cool. I haven't opened
They
any yet,
do.
but yeah, the packaging's cool. I love how they use
Yeah. The
that film
classic.
out from from the
Yeah.
classic animation. I got 4 ARC Trooper captains.
Nice.
I ended up with 5 battle droids. We've got Ayla Sakura. I got 3 of those.
Mm.
3 Barris Safi figures,
Yeah.
and then 3 Luminaras. And yeah, it's a lot of them. And in fact, I think somebody commented here on the bottom. No wonder I couldn't get that.
Yeah.
But so this is tame compared to other collectors that I know in the community. This is actually pretty tame. There's some collectors that ordered like many times this.
Yeah.
The reason that, and I know I mentioned it here in the post, that I had to order so many was that Walmart is just not a good retailer for handling these exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
Hasbro has admitted for some time now that it's adult action figure collectors that are supporting these lines,
Yeah.
both the vintage collection and the Black series, and they price them accordingly. And
Mm-hmm.
my whole thing is that if they're going to say that that's what these are, then it's incumbent upon the retailer Walmart to treat them as such.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I completely get that these are they're being packed by people that have to meet a quota of shipping so many things per hour in these warehouses that don't have necessarily the best conditions and are not getting paid
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of money. So that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think it's too hard for Walmart to issue guidance on packaging practices for things like this.
Yeah.
So that's why I ordered so many. Was I ordered extras just in case some
Just
came
in case
damaged.
damage. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the truth is that most of these did have some level of damage.
Mm.
Some were pretty good. Some were really nice, but some of
Yeah.
them shipped in bags. And if you're a carded collector and
Wow.
they ship them in bags, yeah, it's just. But sadly, this isn't anything new. Walmart has been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been documenting it for a long time. I made a video about it about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
how they just were not able to, understand that,
And they
they
don't.
needed.
Yeah, and they don't really give you like you don't have the option to request how they package these things, or
No,
they don't give you that option at all. Like they'll just, send it.
right. And, these are Walmart exclusives. In the US, you can't get them anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
if Walmart's not going to ship them and they're not going to carry them in their stores, it's really hard to find this stuff in stores,
Yeah.
then, it's something that needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
So
it is.
again,
I
nothing
agree.
new, nothing new. It's not perfect at Amazon or Target when they have exclusives either, but in terms of packaging practices, Walmart is always like kind of guaranteed to have issues. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, just an unfortunate thing. But at least they're here. I'm gonna open them this weekend and set them up with the gunship is my goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's gonna be a
some
nice display.
yeah,
That's
some
gonna be a very nice display.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Pico B1 says that he too only got one blue one. Just kidding. Good on you. So, oh, no wonder. Yeah. So, but again, this is tame compared to what some of my other collecting buddies choose to
Yeah.
do. Adam says 6 of his arrived this week on the same day in 6 different soft bags. So that's another thing. Like
Mm.
Walmart, I don't know what the intent is with this. I mean, it's certainly not economically friendly nor environmentally friendly, but
Yeah.
it can be the same order of 10 figures and then they'll still pack them separately and ship them separately. And I don't know why they
And
do
it
this.
makes
It's
absolutely no sense. And because you got to figure, it's like, how did you get the packaging in the first? Like, how did Walmart receive you? Receive them in boxes. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah, that's weird. That's really weird to me. Like why they would do it that way
It's
without even giving options. I mean, you have to know, especially if someone's ordering bulk, and ordering, a certain amount or a certain quantity of these figures, like to pack them a certain way. Obviously, it's specifically for a reason. But again,
yeah,
yeah, it's like little care, to be quite honest.
totally. Battery Bob says, unfortunately, ordering several extras only encourages retailers like Walmart to not ship them out so you don't just buy 2 instead of 6.
Mm,
So sometimes it doesn't even matter because there was
mm,
Walmart also had an exclusive Mandalorian with Grogu from Majo Crease, which is
mm.
that ice planet with the spiders and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I ordered 4 of those because it's a bigger package than normal. And I thought, hey, if I order 4, they'll ship them in a box. I'll just return my extras or help out collectors that need them. But no, they sent them in a bag the size of a pillowcase. with no
Wow.
protection. And yeah, I was like, oh man, oh man. I do address this with Hasbro from time to time when we do our Q&A sessions, and they hear the feedback, they
Hmm.
understand the frustration, nothing happens. So we're still in the same boat after all this time.
Yeah.
So, oh well. Oh
Not
well.
cool. Definitely not cool.
No. So those were the main things that came in for me this week. Last week I also got my Stormtrooper commander came in. So I haven't opened him yet.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely gonna get him in the detox hopefully soon
Hmm.
with alongside the incinerator trooper, and also whenever the other one, the Mordor trooper,
Yeah.
comes in. I think the
Yeah.
three of them would look pretty cool together. Have you gotten the trooper commander?
Which one is it again?
The Stormtrooper commander with the orange pauldron?
With the orange part? No, I actually. So here's the thing. I have. I with the lull and everything that actually started happening. I have that figure coming through. From overseas. The problem was they got hit by COVID. You know what I mean? Like real bad. So it stopped. Even like with some of the main shipping companies, their staff, had tested positive for COVID. So it's been
Mm.
a lull. There was, because I got him along with two of the tank troopers as well. So I have them coming, the two tank commanders. So I have those coming, but it's just a matter of when it's going to arrive. And I actually got 3 to 5 day shipping. You know what I mean? So I'm still waiting on that. It's there. The actual shipping label was created. I got that, but there's no movement. You know what I mean? So I'm just waiting right now. But yeah, I definitely, it was one that I had to get because it's a trooper, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And one that I think a lot of people would sleep on, just especially from the IP itself. But yeah, it's coming. It's just a matter of when it's going to arrive.
Right on. Right on. Well, it looks cool from the box. Again, I haven't opened it yet,
Yeah,
but I'm excited
yeah.
to get it. Troopers are great, and I don't have enough stormtroopers,
Mm-hmm.
so definitely needed to
Mm-hmm.
get a couple more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I think that's about it. All I've received over the last couple of weeks. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think there have been announcements for the Hasbro lines, and
Yeah.
so there's stuff on the horizon. It's just a matter of waiting, and
Now, did you get the Razor Crest?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Yeah.
I love the Razor Crest.
Mm.
So I love this idea of HasLab. I know some people say, HasLab is kind of silly. Why should a major corporation like Hasbro need to crowdfund stuff? And I get that completely. But I think they're kind of missing the point, because the idea behind HasLab is that they make things happen that are just not possible at retail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Retail could not sell a $300 Razor Crest. You wouldn't see that
Mm-hmm.
at Target.
Yeah.
They would
True.
not sell a $500 sail barge.
Mm-hmm. True.
Um, these are certain things that can only be done through different means. And if HasLab is that means, then I'm totally on board with it. So I
Yeah.
have got both so far. I have the sail barge, which I love. It's freaking fantastic. It's like 4 feet long. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then yes, the Razor Crest came in the week before last,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, similarly, it's beautiful. It's got a lot of play features that are very hard to
Yeah.
access because you got to get your hands inside it. The weapons locker, like you got to put each of those weapons inside there, and the little panels, like you just have a little bit of room to get in there. You have to use the pliers
Yeah.
to access it, but yeah, it looks great. It's on the shelf. It's a couple shelves up, so it's not really visible here, but it's I did a video on it, so you can see the showcase of
Yeah.
what that looks like and how I set
Yeah.
up on my shelf with all the figures. So yeah, Razor Crest is great. I'm really
Mm-hmm.
happy with it. It wasn't perfect. There were some challenges with it, a couple little QC things with it. Um, there was a little chip of paint on the bottom. There was the carded figures in there, which are exclusive to this set. Had one of them had some damage,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm working with Hasbro to try and get that
Okay.
sorted. And then one of the ramps didn't want to open up, so I had to hit it with the hair dryer to loosen
Mm.
to get the extendable part of the ramp out. But yeah, it's certainly a centerpiece. If you like vehicles and
Mm-hmm.
you like the interactivity with the figures and the playability,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, it's a great thing to have.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. I love it. I love it. Um, the thing is, it's like it took me like a good since I got it, took like 2 weeks, two almost 3 weeks for me to open it because I didn't want it. Originally, I wasn't going to take it outside the box. Like I
Uh-huh.
really wasn't, but I was like, it's something I'm never going to see again. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just for me, but it's weighted perfectly. It's very like, you know what I mean, intricate. The attention to detail is amazing. I just hate the thing is I know that they were really afraid, but like it was like a bittersweet situation for them when the Razor Crest was destroyed in the tragedy. But yeah, now my question is, will they actually go back and release the S1 Naboo, the S Starfighter, if they will actually do that? So I don't know. I would love to see if they did something like that with Mando. That would be crazy. I would definitely get it. I would definitely get it.
I think they will. Um, I think that's like easy money for them. It would not be cheap. It would be at least $100 or more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they can do it, and I'm sure everybody wants that. I know a lot of people want that. In fact, the prices on eBay for just the regular N1 Starfighter
Yeah,
from
the N1. Yeah.
yeah, they're through the roof right now because people are buying them. They're not keeping them like that. They're customizing them into Mando's version of the N1
Yeah.
Starfighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they'll do that at some point. And
Yeah.
hopefully sooner rather. Lego just announced theirs, so hopefully Hasbro isn't too far behind.
Yeah. Sooner than later. Huh. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So Starkiller says that HasLab Project carded figures should come in a clamshell case to ensure they don't get damaged. Yeah, absolutely. They should. They really should. And these ones aren't particularly well protected in the box, unfortunately.
Yeah. True.
Um, Boba Fett's Throne Room TVC is going to be nice also. So yeah, Lael, have you seen this one? The
No.
vintage collection. So yeah, this is a really cool thing that Hasbro announced 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the last, I think it was the day after the last episode of Book of Boba Fett. They are doing in vintage collection the whole throne room
Okay.
from Jabba's palace, and
Ooh.
it's customizable so that if you have Jabba the Hutt, you can set it up for Jabba. If you want it to be Boba Fett focused, you can set it up for Boba. So it's really
Hmm.
nice.
So it can be customized both ways.
It can go both ways, yeah,
Ah.
and
Okay.
yeah, it looks rad. Just like
Okay.
it's so interactive. It's just all the pieces that it comes with.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a chance to talk to the designer of it. It has her name is Emily,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, like it was just super exciting to see them do this because
Yeah.
they've when Hazard really wants to do something like above and beyond for like the Razor Crest,
Mm-hmm.
the sail barge, anything like
Mm-hmm.
that high end, they totally can do it. And
Yeah. They can
this
go
was
in
no
on it.
exception. This is just yeah, this set is I'm trying to find some pictures of it. Is just a work of art.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a few right here. This is from my friends at SWTVC
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram, and they posted some pictures of this. So this is what it looks like here. I
Mm.
think it's about 11 inches high, and it's something like 22 inches across and 11 inches deep. Um, but yeah, all of these pieces are movable. You can
Yeah.
move everything around there. These are all the little pieces it comes with.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super cool. It comes with Boba Fett from the end of that last scene in Mando season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. The only way you can get this version of Bib Fortuna,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he's pretty
Wow.
cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's great, and
decent.
with the lighting, depending on how you light it, I'm sure you can get
Yeah.
some really cool photos of it.
Mm-hmm.
But just the
It's
texturing
aesthetically, it
on
looks
it,
great.
it does, and it's a little pricey. I believe it was 250.
That's not bad
Um,
though. I mean, considering everything that you basically get, that's not really bad. That's not a bad piece to have.
right. And if you wanted to get this through like a third party, you're going to pay more than that for
Mm-hmm.
something like this. So
Mm-hmm.
this is cool. It's got there's the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of just little fun pieces that it comes with that you can move
Yeah.
around. There's a protocol droid's head on the serving tray. Yeah, there's
Detail.
you can, it's got
Yeah.
the fire pit there with the piece of meat on the top.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really neat. I'm
I
excited
like
for
it.
this. I can't wait
Yeah.
to get my hands on this. Of course, we got to wait till 2023.
Mm.
But I'm okay with that. As long as I get it at some point, I don't care. I'll wait. And that'll
Yeah.
give me more time to prep my collection for it. So
Yeah. More time to actually have it in your collection. You don't really have to, you know what I mean? And then you're prepping, you can prioritize with everything and just kind of make sure, you're ready for it. Yeah. Decent.
totally.
Yeah.
Um, JJ says, "Is that fat bib coming carded?" I forgot what they said. Yes, he is. He will be on an individual vintage collection card.
Mm.
So that will be pretty
Good.
neat. Better rate Bob. That so would look great on a shelf with a Rancor pit on the shelf below it. Yeah, that's what I intend to do. I have the
Yeah.
Rancor on a shelf over here, and I intend to do that myself.
That would look
Um,
crazy.
the Fortuna, don't forget him, even though he doesn't last long on the throne. Yeah, so that's really cool inclusion that they did there. Pico B1 says his will be Jabba focused because he didn't buy that expensive $26 Boba Fett. Yeah, that's another thing. Some of these TVC figures have been expensive lately. $26 for a little 3 3/4
Yeah.
figure. But, that's exclusives these days. They're not cheap.
Nah. And because
Yeah,
they know
so
demand is there.
they do. And they're tying it into current media that can also serve dual purpose as classic trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to have options. Whenever they include these options with toys, I dig that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we recently also got the Navarro Cantina playset, which is the one from Mandalorian. And this one too, I got it a few weeks back. I have it on the shelf. You can buy more pieces and make it it's modular, so you can buy more pieces and make it bigger if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But that too came with all the barware and the spotchka and all the fun stuff, bar
Mm-hmm.
stools. So
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like when you get all the intricate pieces, because that's, I mean, just like we were just talking about the Razor Crest. I didn't realize how the intricacies of it. I mean, even actually having like the carbon freezing chambers, like the cells inside of like it's really detailed. Like
yeah,
you know what I mean. So I love it, man. I love it. I definitely love it. So I
it
mean,
is
it's the price. I mean, you're paying for it, but if you're getting a lot with it, like why not? Definitely why
for
not?
sure. Would you plan on displaying yours on the stand or without the stand?
Stan. I'll put it on. Well, here's the thing, because it depends on where I put it. You know what I mean? Like where I display it. Because I created like it. Because the thing is, what I do is I create my own art boxes. So I use canvases to create art boxes, and I use like lighting in it to light it a certain way. So if I put it inside the art box, then I probably won't use the stand at all. You know what I mean? I'll just have it displayed a certain way. I like to create like little mini diorama,
Mm-hmm.
atmospheric type of situations with it. So I don't know. I might. It depends. It depends on which way I actually will go. I might, because I was thinking about doing it and recreating that snow planet, but then again, it was like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll do that. Just depending. Because I mean, we did. It was almost damn near demolished during that episode. So yeah, it just looks too great to have it, posed without like a level of presence. So if I put it in
Yeah,
the art box, then I probably won't use the stand at all.
right on. Yeah, I.
Hmm.
Do you think it would fit on top of a DTOF? Like if you just put it on top of one of the like with the stand?
You could. I mean, because yeah, you could, because if you, as a matter of, well, I have two of my Hot Toys, Scout Troopers on, basically the on the bikes, the speeder bikes, on top of the DTOF, because I couldn't fit them anywhere else. So I have both of them recreating that, scene in Mandalorian with Grogu, sitting right here. So yeah, I think you could. You definitely could, as long as it's sturdy enough, and you don't run the risk of like damaging it falling off or anything like that. I think you could. You could.
Right on. So Justin says, I think this is the time the Django looking for someone to pass on his legacy. So yeah, that is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
LBT Electric, awesome look on you, Victoria. Oh, that's a very nice compliment, LBT. Thank you for throwing that my way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, so cool. Yeah, no, I'm stoked for whatever the next HasLab is. You know, if they want
Yeah.
to do the Death Star, if they want to
Yeah.
do Mos Eisley Cantina, there's plenty of other things that they could do that would work so well.
Yeah.
And yeah, just hopefully that's sooner rather than later because I'm ready for
Definitely.
the next one. I'm
Heck
ready for
yeah.
the next one.
Heck yeah.
Cool. So, before the before we started going live here, we were talking a little bit about the Batman,
Yes.
this brand new movie. Every now and then they like to reboot Batman, and you know each of these kind of renowned right actors sometimes like to put their own spin on
Mm-hmm.
this beloved character that dates back to I think what the 30s or 40s,
Mm-hmm.
and here we are, another iteration of the character, brand new
Yeah.
film. And we won't talk spoilers because I'm sure some folks haven't
People
seen it
have,
yet.
yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just came out. But what are your initial impressions of this latest iteration of the Batman?
Here's the thing, like, usually, especially with this particular film, I was, talking about it earlier on Will's show and on my show. I'm gonna have to see it again. Number one, because the experience of seeing it was so much to take in. There was a lot of dialogue that you had to really listen carefully. It was like a lot of Easter eggs there as well. Not to really spoil it for a lot of people, but there's a direction that they could possibly go. If you know anything about Batman Year One, Year Two, you know that there's an interesting storyline that they can choose to, take the story. But overall, I thought visually it was amazing. The cinematography of this film was phenomenal. Robert Pattinson did such a phenomenal job as the Batman, and giving us that grittiness. And around this time, especially with Year One, Year Two, he was angry. There was a lot of anger, a lot of fury, a lot of vengeance that was in him. Not far from a far cry from what we see now. So I know there were a lot of people like, well, we got more of Batman, less of Bruce Wayne. It was done for a particular reason because you know Bruce Wayne's journey, and it, like I said, you can juxtapose both of them together because they are the same character, but it was more focused on the detective value of and the aspect of Batman himself,
Mm-hmm.
and showing us his level of intelligence and how things, how he solves things, but also still tormented by his past. You know,
Right.
so there was a lot to basically witness with this character. So I thought that Robert Pattinson did a great job. I thought that Zoe Kravitz was a great Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
The way she portrayed her was phenomenal. I love that. Jeffrey Wright, as Commissioner Gordon was great. Of course, Colin Farrell as Penguin was great. I love seeing him,
Yeah.
that way. And even a Riddler. Now the Riddler at times, there were certain aspects of him I was like, well, I enjoy the character, but sometimes it may have seemed a tad bit over the top at times. Um, the pacing of the movie at certain times was kind of disjointed, but other than that, I enjoyed it. I thought it did have a satisfying ending to me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I just want to see where it's going to go now. Like we already know there's going to
Yeah.
be a sequel. For people who actually get a chance to see the film, you understand it without giving too much away. But yeah, I think it's this was the perfect Batman movie. It was the perfect iteration of Batman in a way that people have wanted to see him. And they'll get a taste of who he is in this film. But I think that we'll get a chance to see Bruce Wayne more fleshed out,
Mm-hmm.
probably in the sequel. We'll get a chance to see him with Alfred. So yeah, can't wait. I definitely can't wait to see it.
Yeah. No, really well said. I completely agree. It was certainly a perfect, like, I think as far as if this was a standalone and there were no sequels to ever come out of this,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would stand alone just fine, and it would be like a perfect Batman from start to finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hope he gets sequels, and I'd love to see
Yeah.
where his story goes and continue to see more.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the Dark Knight trilogy is probably like the best, like from start to finish, 3-part like film series for Batman. Like I think it told a complete story.
Yeah.
But this just I feel like it stood on its own like very
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yeah.
And like if they did no further sequels, I think it'll stand the test of time. And
Yeah.
I agree, like the acting, I think it was like pretty perfectly casted, just
Mm-hmm.
all around. Like I can't,
Yes, it was.
I don't think they could have made better choices in that
Mm-hmm.
regards. Rob Pattinson was awesome, and
Mm-hmm.
he really like Riddler. I don't want to give anything away, obviously, but Riddler says something at the end about how trying to say it without being spoilery. um, it goes to your point of what you were saying about how we mostly see Batman and not so much Bruce Wayne. And I think
Yeah.
what he says there at the end kind of makes a little
Yeah.
more sense of that
Mm-hmm.
logic, why we
Mm-hmm.
see him. And I like that he had an arc within the movie. We're not seeing like, young Bruce Wayne just trying on these outfits for the first time to be Batman. Like he's established in this role to some extent,
Yeah.
but not in terms of his arc.
Yeah.
He's still, like you said, he's vengeful. He's got that mindset of, he has this goal, but then by the end there is an arc with his portrayal of Batman. And
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to make it really exciting if they do pursue the sequel and we get to see where that story continues to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is like, without saying too much, it's exciting to see where they can go. I mean, if you follow all the Easter eggs, if you follow the breadcrumbs, it's definitely going to be interesting to see which route that they actually take. Um, of course, basically the Batman or Bruce Wayne's, or know what, right now Batman's relationship to the city of Gotham. You know what I mean? That is going to be fleshed out going forward because, again, he's coming into his own and making certain things, or making certain conscious decisions, are going to have a ripple effect going forward, to how his character is going to be portrayed and played out and accepted in Gotham. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I'm happy. Like I'm on board. Like again, I think Matt Reeves accomplished what he set out to accomplish. I know there were a lot of people talking about, well, how can you have a Batman without a Superman existing in this world? I think it's easy, because you're focusing on just the narrative and everything. Because there's plenty of stories to tell within Gotham, that doesn't require a godlike character to come in for any type of assistance. You know what I mean? You don't need all right now. We're
Right.
telling just like Nolan did. He told the story of Bruce Wayne and Batman, which didn't consist of too much of anything else. But yeah, I think there's a great journey that this movie's going to actually go on. Somebody said, like, what would I get it, as far as a rating? I haven't rated it yet because I want to see it again. I'm going to go
Me
see it
too.
again this weekend before I give it a rating. But so I'm sure that the rating or what I'm thinking is on point, because it could change, it could fluctuate, it could drop, but I'm going to wait until this weekend after I've seen it again to give it a rating.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get to see it again too. I definitely need to. You made a point about the cinematography being
Yes.
pretty stellar, and it really was. Like,
Yeah.
when he's in action and he's doing different things, whether he's in the Batmobile or
Mm-hmm.
he's on the bike, or he's just doing other stunts, or just beating people up. Like it's just so
Yeah.
well like filmed and framed,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I really dug it. You probably know the shot like from behind the Batmobile when he's like in the main like
Yeah.
chase, and that was
Yeah.
really cool. I wanted a few more seconds of that. It was just so
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah, it was. It was amazing. It was amazing. And that's why I want to see it again, because there's certain aspects of, even like I said, the theater that I was in, the audio was horrible. So that's why I'm like, you know what, I have to see it somewhere where the audio is definitely upscaled, and where you can hear everything clear and just be really excited about the film you're watching. So I can't wait. We'll probably go see it either tomorrow night or Sunday. This depending. I don't know, but we said we're gonna, if we see it again, we're gonna see it during the day, because that's a 3 hour film that
Mm,
yeah, you want to see it early
yeah,
if it's possible.
for sure. It is truly long.
Hmm.
That is certainly true. But you made a good point too about Superman. It's like, the Dark Knight trilogy just does just fine without Superman.
Yeah, it does. It
You
does.
know, they tried doing that with Justice League, I think, to mixed results.
Yeah, yeah,
And it wasn't. I didn't mind the idea of seeing Batman and Superman in their own movie, but
yeah.
you kind of see the value in just having Batman on his own or Superman on
Exactly.
his own.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
yeah, I
exactly.
don't think it's necessary. I mean, the only reason that these characters joined up in the comics eventually was because it was the same publisher that was already had Batman, they had Superman, they had these other
Yeah.
characters, and they're like, oh, what
Hmm.
if we put them together, to sell more
Yeah.
comics? That
Yeah.
doesn't really need to be something that is the norm for the
That's a running
films.
thing. And the thing is, it's like when we're talking about Batman, the only time that we've necessarily seen them together was in a Justice League run, or if it had anything to do with the city of Gotham versus Metropolis versus a worldly type of threat. Whether it's, we're talking about Crisis, if we're talking about, for anybody who's basically read recent, like for instance, the what was it? I forget the run. The uh I forget the name of the run. It's going to come to me a little bit later on, but unless it's like a worldly threat that does require, the mind of, or if it, the Trinity itself, then no. I mean, Batman was always self-contained in things that were happening in his world, whether it was the Joker, whether it was, recently, or if the, like again, anybody who's familiar with the Court of Owls, like that is such an amazing narrative to carry on with Batman. It's, again, you don't really need to actually have everyone in one. I was always, me myself, when I thought about it, I was like, we talk about how the approach of the Man of Steel versus BVS, and then we got the Justice League. How they could have fleshed that out even better was if they did, you know, a Man of Steel as a separate, as a film. Did Batman as a separate film? Did Wonder Woman as a separate film? Did Flash as a separate film? Then you actually see, Aquaman, but then tie things in together. We talked about how everything was, pretty much centered around things that had actually happened during, the initial Kryptonian arrival on Earth, when you had Zod, his agenda, of course, the fight that, again, cost lives. If we would have seen that in a totally different way, from each character's perspective, get the Man of Steel, of course, get Batman to whereas you see him on his journey in Gotham, but then towards the end of the movie, that's when you see the fight
Mhm.
between him and Zod, because then that would actually tie his, what provoked him, and why he was provoked to do what he did. Actually see, then carry that over into a Wonder Woman film where she's basically on her journey, from Ministeria to, just modern times, and her, surviving, through the ages, and then, seeing her, and just fighting a good fight, becoming a hero,
Mhm.
finding out who she was and being accepted. But then she's
Yeah.
interrupted by things that are happening in Gotham and in this fight in Metropolis with Superman and Zod. Same thing with Aquaman, how that everything has a ripple effect. Some of the ships, how
Right.
basically the rumbling of the change engine, and how that actually affects Atlantis. Same thing with Barry. Seeing those things first. Same thing with the mother box being awoken, and how that affects even Cyborg if he had his separate, and then bring them all together in the
Mhm.
end to fight this threat, knowing that it, or even give us BVS after the fact and have BVS be that separation between the two and how they have to come back together, and then we can get that more fleshed out. Because if you gave us each character fleshed out, then it's more believable in the end. They didn't do
Mhm.
that, you know. So if they would have did it, it would have made more sense. But I think it was rushed. But we can't go
Yeah.
back and change it. We just have to accept it for what it is, which is hence why we
Right.
got, you know, the Snyder cut and why it was as long as it was. But it made sense. So
Yep. Totally. And why we now have the Batman, and it's a
yeah,
totally separate
yeah,
thing.
yeah, definitely.
Um, yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see how they handle all these films going forward. And then we have
Yep.
Flash coming later
Yeah.
in the year,
I can't
and
wait for that because we got
I
Keaton
can't
back.
wait.
We got
Yes.
him and Ben Affleck in one film, so I can't wait for that. And then we'll have Keaton back in the Batgirl film in December,
Mhm.
so I can't wait. It's gonna be exciting. I can't wait for it.
I'm stoked. Like, I mean, I know that in terms of Batman films, the Nolan films are kind of the
Yeah,
top. I really think this new Batman film
yeah,
and subsequent films could potentially even top the Nolan films.
yeah.
But there's
We just
something
have
that,
to see it. We have to see. Like I think
yeah,
once we get the build up, I mean, once we see these, because that's the thing is like I wasn't willing to right now um say that or compare the two because I try to separate them by, we have, of course, the Christopher Nolan and then we got Matt Reeves version and they have their own interpretation of the character.
yeah,
Try to separate that, and until we see more of Matt Reeves' journey, and where he's taking the characters and where he's, what
mhm,
he's introducing, until we see that, then at the end I'll be like, okay, we have the Dark Knight trilogy, we have the Batman trilogy. Like, let's see what is happening here, or what's, to say who's better. I'm just glad we're getting iterations in general, not to basically compare it. I'm just happy we're getting something. So
totally, yeah. The more Batman movies we get, though, like I still go back to Keaton one. I mean, that was I saw that one
yes,
in the theater. It was one of the
89.
first.
Yeah,
It was one of the first movies I saw in the theater, and
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So like Michael Keaton is still my Batman, like personally.
exactly,
So I'm
exactly.
stoked to see him in the Flash
Yeah,
and
definitely excited
in
about it.
Batgirl.
Can't
Yeah,
wait. Can't wait.
that will be super cool. So I'm sure that you saw this right here. This is something that just showed up last night. Um, what'd you think?
Oh man, we just got done talking about this earlier. I talked about it on my show and in Wales. I'm excited. I'm excited for so many different reasons. One, just what we're getting. I was, one of the ones that was upset about what we got, from the Peacemakers release and how let down I was at that figure. I think that it was just kind of lackluster, but I understand that, in most cases they said that they didn't have the rights to John Cena's head sculpt. This right here, though, makes up for that because I love it and how it looks aesthetically. The tailoring, the fabric, those are, that is fabric guard around the pants, so it won't restrict articulation. I think this is going to be the most articulated Batman that we'll actually have as far as the release from Hot Toys. It looks like we're going to actually get an articulated cape, so I'm definitely happy about that. The diorama base is amazing. It's a decent piece to have. The accessories, the head sculpt is incredible. So glad we're actually getting that, from it. And it actually comes with different versions. Like you get a deluxe version with the bat signal. And that's the one I'll definitely have. We did get a sneak peek at the his bike and also the Batmobile. So I can't wait to see, hopefully when we get those, like all around, I love it. I love this piece. I really do. I'm excited about it. I think you're muted.
Whoopsies.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah, I try not to venture too far from Star Wars because that's generally the bread and
Yeah.
butter what I collect.
Yeah.
But I do get into a few of the Batman stuff. I have the Batman
Yeah.
Returns Batman.
Yeah.
I have Captain America from Endgame.
Hmm.
I have one of the Woman figures. This I'll definitely want to get for sure. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I when I saw it last night before I saw the movie, I was like, okay, yeah, that looks really cool. I'm probably gonna want it. Let me see the movie first, and I'm like, heck
Yeah.
yes, I gotta have it.
Yeah. Definitely. This piece is a must have. I am hoping that, come on, man, Hot Toys, if you listen, please give us that Selena Kyle too, because
Yes.
that's amazing. But yeah, I was definitely happy that we got this piece, and the head sculpt looks amazing on it. So, and I love the
It
suit.
does.
So
The
yeah,
suit looks great.
yeah, it definitely looks great.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And I like the different ways, this diorama base can be configured to
Mm-hmm.
give you a little bit more options. And, it's nice that it has the unmasked
Mm-hmm.
portrait.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it
I'm
does.
stoked, and
It does.
gotta wait a little bit for it, but
Yeah, I think it's what,
looks
two
like,
years out.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we'll see.
that's all right. It's all right though.
Yeah,
And
as long as
yeah,
they do it
I
good.
as long as they do a good job with it, and it looks like,
Yeah,
if this is any indication, it looks like it will be a really nicely done figure. And I agree.
yeah.
They got to continue the momentum. Selena
Mm-hmm.
Kyle would be awesome,
Mm-hmm.
and then beyond that, I would definitely get those two. I don't know if I would how far I would go beyond that, but yeah,
Yeah,
I can see them doing an amazing
yeah,
penguin, but possibly um, Riddler would be interesting, I suppose. I don't
yeah.
know how they would do that. Would he come with an unmasked head? I'm not sure, but
Probably, I don't know, because there's even like a few third party companies that are putting together their own renditions, like a few custom pieces. So I don't know. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Me myself, I'm with you. I would only probably need both Selena Kyle and Batman, Bruce Wayne. That's the only two I would need. You know what I mean? Just to
yeah.
kind of, as long as I had those two, I'd be fine. I wouldn't dip too far down. The only time that I do something like that is with Star Wars. Like I'm just a completionist, constantly a completist. So I have to have anything Star Wars. That's the danger of being a Star Wars fan. Anything they release, you're going to want, because it is what it is. But I'm very selective about other pieces. But yeah, I'm definitely getting this.
For sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm stoked about it. I think my friend here is being a little restless. She's she's kind of starting to bounce around a little bit.
Yeah.
You good? You good? You want me to put you down?
Yeah,
Yeah, she's kind of starting to wake up now.
yeah, yeah. She's like, I want to go for a walk.
I think she probably wants to eat again.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna put you on the floor because you're getting a little restless. Okay, go lay down in your bed. She has a little bed here in my collection room that she's welcome
Yeah.
to hang out with me anytime she wants to. She's good company.
Yeah.
So she'll do that now. But yeah, no, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for this figure.
Yeah.
We have the reissues of the Dark Knight trilogy figures that are coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Batman in
Yeah.
multiple configurations, the Bat
Yeah.
Pod,
The tumblers coming.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have the DX. Yeah, I can't.
Selena Kyle again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot building down the
It
pipeline.
is.
So yeah, we're
It
gonna have a
is. And
lot
I
to
did
look forward
pre-order
to.
those because I missed them. I wasn't collecting Hot
Mm-hmm.
Toys the first time around, and I got
Mm-hmm.
Two-Face.
Yeah.
I hope that they bring Joker back and Bane back because
Yeah. Well, did you see that there is an iteration of Bane that's actually been released? I think. Let me see here because I saw it earlier. It's on. I think it was. Let me see here. I forget the company that actually released that figure, but it looks real good. It looks real good. I actually saw it. I think it was today. As a matter of fact, it was. Let me see here. I'm pulling it up now. Here we go. Let me see. I'm actually looking at it right now. I believe I'm trying to find out what company is releasing this figure. I think it's No. Yes, M Toys. M Toys is basically releasing a Bane, a 1/6 scale Bane figure, and it's reasonably priced. But it's they have the overcoat,
Yeah.
all the accessories that come with it, and they only want like 169 for it. So
Mm,
it's not bad.
not
Definitely
bad.
not bad. So if you're getting, um, you know, um, Dark Knight Rises figure, then basically you want to get, if you want Bane, is accessory. But then yeah, I want the Joker because I missed out on that, especially Heath Ledger DX version. I didn't
Mm,
get that, so I'm hoping that they release that again. It looks promising, like they probably will.
Right.
But if they will, yeah, definitely I'll get it.
Yeah, for sure. I hope
Hmm.
so. It's like, I keep saying it. I try not to go out of Star Wars too much, but like, I'm just a sucker for
Yeah.
Batman stuff. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
oh, I still have my very first Batman figure right over here, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so going back to Batman '89 for just a second,
Mm-hmm.
I remember the day that my dad bought me this because I had just
Mm-hmm.
seen the movie
Mm-hmm.
in my hometown where I grew up. I grew up in Texas. I'm in San
Yeah.
Diego now.
Yeah.
But we used to have a store called Video Stop where you could
Yeah.
rent out VHS tapes, and
Yeah.
they were carrying these old Toy Biz
Yeah.
Batman figures. So
Yeah.
I still got this guy, and he still has his batarang. How crazy is that?
Mm-hmm.
He still got his
Mm-hmm.
batarang.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the upgraded 89 suit? They showed pictures of it behind the scenes for Batgirl.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, if you look online, you can actually find it. So it's the only thing I'm hoping is that they bring back the belt. Come on, bring back that the yellow on the belt. You have to. But yeah, um, it looks good. It looks good. It really, really looks good, and it's like Keaton's in it, so I'm definitely happy about that. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's just something I never thought we would see is Michael Keaton coming back as
Mm-hmm.
Batman.
Mm-hmm. It's
I was
exciting.
already resigned to just okay, it's a nice idea seeing him
Yeah.
again.
And it
But
was
that's
like whether or
probably
not he would accept the role, and he did. So that's
right,
phenomenal. Yeah.
right. Yeah, and he seems excited about it too. So
Yeah, he is. He is.
yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Definitely. Can't wait.
Yeah. So what else is going on, Lael?
Nothing. Again, we're just preparing for everything that's got. I mean, it's been a busy week. It's literally been a busy week.
Yeah.
I think I've had what was it? Sunday we had comic book talk with friends where we have discussions about just comics in general. So just to kind of prep everybody for what was to come and what we thought we would see. We just had our detective versus vigilante show on the Batman last Monday. So that it's still up. You could actually go view that. And then we, of course, we had Say What on Wednesday. We didn't have Uncivilized because, of course, we went to go see the movie itself. Like last night. But yeah, it's just been an all around busy week. I mean, I've been I prepped, I have Boba. I shot some of what I wanted to shoot. I recorded some of what I wanted to record. But then, on Wednesday, we went to the Apple store, and I actually, not the Apple store, I'm sorry, the Xfinity store, and I actually saw the iPhone 13. And I was looking at it, playing around with it. I saw the cinematic camera option or video option.
Uh-huh.
I looked at that. I was like, yeah, I need that. But I didn't get it that day, but I got it yesterday before the film. So yeah, I was pretty excited about it. I was like, yeah, I couldn't wait. I had to do it. It was something I had to do. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't pass it up. I really, really couldn't pass it up. But yeah, I got that just
Yeah.
mainly so I can shoot the figures the way I want to shoot them now. Even like, cause I still use like my M50, but at the same time to have it like something a little bit smaller, remote you can carry. I do use like the options I have on the phone. But yeah, I just have so many things to kind of unbox and prep and shoot for and get on the display. So it's really great. And then and also basically I'm doing not a review but a visual of the Razor Crest, the HasLab Razor Crest, and just really explaining it, so
Nice.
yeah, I'm doing that. So that'll probably be up in about a week or so. Once that's done, I'll let everybody know. But it's just like I got so much to do. So yeah, that's all I've been doing. Like, and it's trying to fit that in between just like the schedule and the normal work schedule as far as like my clients and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
hectic. It's really hectic.
I hear you. It's been super crazy for me too. I know I love doing the content. I love doing, this and,
Hmm.
all the other stuff we like to do, right? The podcasting and,
Yeah.
all the stuff. But yeah, been wild here. I teach third grade, so we're reaching the end of this
Yeah.
third quarter and,
Mm-hmm.
just crazy times. And it's, that work life balance kind of thing where, right now work's more like this and like everything
Yeah.
else is like down here.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to make time for it, right? You got to make that time to enjoy,
Yeah.
wind down a little bit and have some fun. So
Now let me ask you: are you going to Celebration?
I am.
You going? Yeah, I'll be there. I'll definitely be there. I'm going. So what we're going to do is we're going to arrive that Wednesday. Just to kind of, we wanted to, just kind of fill ourselves around and just kind of get comfortable. So we'll get there that Wednesday morning. But yeah, I can't wait. And which is going to be crazy because Kenobi's supposed to release what, a week prior, or is it that same week?
That's the 25th. So I think that is maybe I think it comes out right before, I want to say,
The
or
day
is it
before that this celebration, which is going to be interesting.
interesting?
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see. Like, you know what I mean? We're getting that the day before. That's crazy. Like, that's literally crazy. And
Right
like,
on.
and because we know we're going to get like more, even more reveals, like secret projects, updates. They were probably waiting to reveal certain things around then. Um, I'm really hoping that, because this year's going to be like the 50th anniversary. Is it the 50th anniversary of
This is 45th.
the 45th anniversary of yeah, the 45th anniversary of New Hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. I mean, who knows what we'll get? Who knows?
Who knows? I'm stoked. I will be there on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'm tentatively scheduled to be on one of the podcasting panels there. So,
Okay.
but again, lots going on. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make that work. But right now, that's the plan.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you're going to be there through the whole celebration.
Yeah, I'm going the whole
All
thing because
right.
I
Well,
think I got kind of spoiled with Celebration because I went to see I need a makeover because I went to Celebration Orlando, but I had gotten sick. I got the flu, which the flu then turned into
oh
pneumonia
no.
when I got back. So I was
Uh,
sick the entire time. So I want to make this trip my worthwhile, and yeah, I can't wait.
totally. Well, I hope to see you there.
Yeah, hope definitely you will. Hmm.
And yeah, are you going to Galaxy's Edge too while you're in town?
I want to. That's the plan, but it's just been hard to kind of schedule everything out. Like, you know what I mean? Just taking care of stay and accommodations and stuff like that. So I want to. I'm definitely thinking about. I'm thinking I will. I think I will make that trip. I think that's what we're going to plan on doing. Because the thing is, it's like it's like celebration is not going to be an all day affair. Like they do end it like early at a certain
Right.
time, so you'll have time to break away. And even if you go, you can leave and whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we will. I think we definitely
Yeah.
will.
If have you been there before to Disneyland or to?
Yeah, I've been to
Okay.
Disneyland and Disney World. So yeah, I can't wait.
Okay. So you've done the Galaxy's Edge thing already, or
Well, no, I haven't. This will be the first time that I've done it. Now like I didn't do it before. Like I didn't do it when they first. Yeah, this will be the first time I've done it. So I'm extremely excited about it.
right on. Well, hopefully you can make that happen.
Yeah.
The Disneyland is just blocks away from that convention center, so
Yep.
uh, yeah, no, that'd be great. Celebration, Disneyland, and
Yeah. That's
Galaxy's Edge.
exciting.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
yeah, exciting times. And
Mhm.
May the weather will still be really nice. So
Mhm. Mhm.
originally, as you know, they were going to have celebration in August. 2
Mhm.
years ago, and
Then they
yeah,
moved
it's
it.
not SoCal doesn't usually get like too hot, but August is like the hottest month that we do get, and it's like
Yeah.
can be humid and kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But May is gorgeous.
It's gonna be
So
comfortable. Yeah. Yeah. I can't
yeah,
wait. Definitely
for
can't wait.
sure. Awesome. Well, Lael, this has been a blast. Again,
Yes.
thanks for coming on and talking Star Wars, talking the Batman, talking your
Yes.
channel,
It's
and
been great.
yeah, for sure. Hope we can do this again sometime.
Yeah.
And
Anytime you let me know, and I'm here.
for sure. And thanks as well to everybody who's been hanging out with us here in the chat and asking questions and leaving comments for us.
Yeah.
So, Lael, where can our everything is linked already in the notes
Yeah.
down below, but where can our viewers hanging out with us still go to
Yeah.
look you up on the interwebs?
They can find me on the 16thScaleMan YouTube channel. My channel. Pretty much, we always have great content there. You can actually find me on Instagram as well as the 16thScaleMan. And that's actually the 1/6 scale man 2099. So definitely you can find me there. You can also find me on Twitter as well. So yeah, I'm always active within the community, try to bridge the community, and excited about being here. This will mark, soon will mark my 1 year anniversary of streaming, live streaming. So I'm
Nice.
so happy about that. I mean, it's been such a fun journey. I've met so many great people, great individuals. So yeah, definitely having a good time.
Awesome. And yeah, your channel's growing and the
Yes.
content's great. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, congrats on that.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
yeah, no, great stuff all the way around. So
Mm-hmm.
thanks again. And, everybody hit up Lael down in the links below,
Yes.
Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. It's all great content and, all positive content. It's one of the
Yes.
things that I love about your channel and your content is
Yes.
that you keep it positive and,
Yeah.
we're fans, right? We like the
Yeah.
stuff and we like to enjoy it, even if we don't always like things 100%. We're still trying to look for the best in all of it, and
Exactly.
so yeah,
Exactly.
so thank you, and thanks to
Anytime.
everybody, and we'll catch you guys next week. So hang tight, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.